Hello and welcome to the second Battlefield 2 Modern Combat Remake video. It's actually been quite a while since my first video, and a lot has changed since I uploaded my first video, so it's really out of date now. And I have been meaning to make an update video much sooner, but actually a few months ago I made a video that my levels were all messed up in my recording software, and it just didn't really sound right because you couldn't really hear what I was saying and stuff. So I made the whole video, went over everything, and I went back and looked at it and it was rubbish. You just couldn't hear what I was really saying. And then it turned out the next day basically new people had joined, and what I said in that video had totally changed anyway, because things moved pretty quickly. New people are joining the server all the time, and new people are getting on board with the project all the time. So I probably should make these quicker, but I also want to just wait until I have something interesting to show you guys instead of just me talking all the time. And I do have something interesting for you tonight. Like I said, I tried to make a video before, and that was really a video showing off, was going to be showing off models. We have a lot of people working on modeling parts of the old game, which is great, and it's really helpful. But recently 2 new people have joined the server, and they basically have game development experience. And I did a Skype call with them last night, and they were happy enough for me to show some of the things that they're working on. And I thought it'd be a great idea that, because I haven't made an update video in such a long time, to show that off and show basically what they're doing. I mean, funnily enough, they decided independently just to start remaking the game, so that was a separate project that they were working on, and then they managed to just happen to stumble across one of my YouTube videos, and I think actually some Reddit posts, and they got in contact and they were like, look, and as we both agree, it would be silly to work on this separately. Let's just come together and share notes. We'll model stuff, and then that can be imported into whatever they work on. So it's hopefully this will actually speed things up so much more. And I mean, at the start I was actually on the fence of whether to even make a video about the remake, and I'm so glad I did. I mean, I was worried that because it was in such an early stage, I was the only person working on it. In my head I was like, maybe I should work on this a little bit more and then upload a video once it's more polished and all that sort of stuff. But that would have just been crazy, because it would have taken me years to get anything that would be really worth showing. So I'm glad I just decided, like, let's just get a video out there and hopefully people will get in touch. And that first video I uploaded really had that effect. We've got lots of people in touch, and actually I'll go over this. Basically, I'm just going to show the Skype call that we had between Bradley and Epics. So I think I'll just play that. I mean, we talked for about an hour, but I've obviously edited that way down, and a lot of what we talked about, the stuff that I edited out was just mostly nostalgic stuff, just us reminiscing about what we did back in the day and stuff, which you don't really need to know about, which was interesting to me obviously, but I just wanted to make the video a bit shorter. Also, we talked about glitches and whether glitches should be in the game or not. We kind of agree that if it was in the original game, across the board, if it was in the original game, it should be. I think at one point I get asked the question, what would I like to keep in the game? And I mentioned that I would like to see the menus, the original menus and stuff like that. And I was surprised to see that they have actually been working on it already. But unfortunately what happened whilst we were talking on Skype, I was kind of recording it on screen, and my caption software didn't work, so I had to end up using Bandicams or something. It's just a little free program I have, and it only records for like 10 minutes. So unfortunately some of the video is lost, and some of what we talked about was actually lost. But one of the things that I would like to mention that we I didn't record, unfortunately, was that we pretty much believe that as far as game mechanics go, there will be no iron sight, there will be no regenerating health, there will be no sprint function, there won't be any obviously loot crates or any of this kind of pay to win mechanics. So I think, and we're all in agreement that it should play as much as the original as possible, as much as it's possible to get that far. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same, but everything else is pretty much covered. So I think I'll just leave it there, and I'll go ahead and play our Skype conversation.
But we're really excited. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking at this is like the nest, so this is the bridge leading into one of the bases.
Yeah, so this isn't anything special. Like I spent about, I think, an hour putting this little turd together, and it was just based off of, you can kind of see I laid down
I see
the
map.
picture, and then just did the height off of memory. So it's nothing specific or anything. And I put a couple of squares to represent some of the buildings, and so it's nothing, to
it's
really
just you're just getting the general shape and outline of the map.
Yeah, exactly. So I only had this extremely low resolution picture to go off of, and there's like you were saying, there's like nothing out there. So I was, I just kind of went with this one and just I said, okay, whatever. I mostly want to focus on the actual gameplay because that's the stuff I kind of know how to do. So last night we put together this capture the flag base. It's not anything super fancy or anything. We spent a couple hours on that, but it basically just has the two flags, and you can set up which faction that they're for, and then the players will eventually, obviously, just like Battlefield, you'll select your faction, and then, so I'll just run this through this real quick thing here. See if I can put these both on the screen. And this is just a character. I know it looks really wonky. I put this together in Fuse. I don't know if you've used Fuse.
I haven't.
So it's an Adobe program. It's free for character creation, and I just mapped the guy to the Unreal Engine skeleton. I spent about 5 seconds on the guy, so that's why he looks like he's like a hunchback. I didn't do the bones completely right. I just wanted something in there. So that's not anything, again, to really look at.
Yeah, no, I don't expect anything to be finished at this stage anyway. So we're kind of doing the same when it comes to the models. We're kind of doing the same thing where we're just trying to get the bare bones, and then we'll refine it and then try and optimize it later on. But as long as you get like the basics down.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I'm a little more interested in getting on my end to get the things working rather than how it looks. So I have a thing here, I think. So now you can see above his head, he's the Middle Eastern Coalition team. So he should only be able to pick up, I can't remember which one it is. So that's obviously, this is his flag because he can't pick it up. And then if I go to this one, he can pick it up. And then I go over here and he captures it. Now you can see he's got 5 points. So that's more or less what I did. There's a couple little bugs in it that I want to work out tonight. But if I were to switch to this guy, I gotta set his team real quick. Now he can take that flag, and then if I go to this one,
you're gonna have to kill the other guy to get his flag back.
Exactly. So see, I can't capture it now.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's really good.
And then I do have I don't have the whole killing thing set up, so I do have to drop.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So see, it drops, and then it went back to.
All right.
God, which one is it on? One of these. This one. So now I'll be able to go and capture the flag. So. Pretty simple, but
that's cool,
work in progress. And it's all, obviously, as you can see, it's all replicated. It works across the network. These are 2 remote clients talking to a dedicated server. So, that's pretty much the progress I have so far.
Yeah, that's really great because at the minute we pretty much just have modelers. We have a lot of people who are going to help out doing models, but like we don't have anyone that has game development experience yet, so I'm really glad you found us pretty much.
Yeah, I was looking for a project to sink my teeth into, and then we were just reminiscing about it, and it was like, hey, wait a minute, I can get behind this.
And it just so happened that very night was a bunch of posting happened.
I think some people from the Discord maybe went over to Reddit and posted, but it was it was like at the exact time we were thinking about it. It was so weird because then we looked at it and it was like 5 minutes ago someone posted, and it's like, wait, no one's posted about this in years, and then all of a sudden we're thinking about it. So a little bit of a divine intervention, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that was the idea as well. Like, we're trying to just get as many posts out there as possible and trying to get as many people, because that, to bring a game like this back, you have to have a big community behind it, and you have to have a lot of. I mean, EA aren't going to really take notice unless like they know lots of people are going to buy it and play it.
Right.
And so if we get a bit of a community going ourselves and we get at least something up and running and get a bit more excitement about the game, I think my end goal is that EA do a bit like what Capcom did with Resident Evil 2, and once they seen the community was really behind it, then they actually remade Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And what actually happened in that case was, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there was a fan remake of Resident Evil 2, and Capcom stood in, stepped in and kind of shut it down. But in its place, then they did an official remake themselves. So,
okay, yeah.
I mean, ideally that's the end goal, but until we get there, and perhaps we'll never get there. So then this is something I'm the same. Like, this is a project that if it takes 3 years, then that's what I'll do for the next 3 years. It's just, I mean, I miss the game, I'm sure, as much as you do. So
yeah,
and that's not going to change. I'm not going to, in 5 years' time, I'm not going to not miss this game. So like, I'll just keep working on it until. I mean, at the start, whenever I started working this, I was like, if I have to do this on my own, I will. But it's really good to see just how many people have actually stepped up and said, look, I can help too, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is, I mean, I think in that Discord channel, there's 50-something people already, and for God's sake, I have never heard of Discord until a couple of days ago. So, you know what I mean? Like, imagine how many more people there are out there.
I mean, that group is relatively new as well. I think it's probably a couple of months old, but it is getting pretty regular people joining it, and most of it is coming from my videos on YouTube. People are like obviously searching for videos of the game just to reminisce, and then they find my video and then they kind of join the chat and things like that. But
exactly what happened for us.
And that's great. But like, my channel's not really that big, so it's not a perfect way to get people to join. So like, that's the idea, I guess, if someone sent up the Reddit posts and stuff like that. So just. There are, what I'm trying to say is there are people out there. There's a lot more than just the 50 or so in that Discord group. It's just trying to reach them, and I think if we keep making videos like this about the remake and just like our progress and stuff like that, then hopefully more and more people see them, or
Well, let me ask you this then, on our nostalgic point. What would be the most important thing to you that we get right in the remake? Would it be the physics? Would it be the map? Would it be the models? Would it be the driving physics? Would it be the, when you lift the gun up to your fucking face, the, lack of iron sights, obviously, the, like, what's really, really, like, important to you? Because, we can make, like a version of like a new game that's cool with the same maps. We can make but you'll never make the identical game, because that had server ping and fucking, I don't know. I don't even know that word.
Above your pay grade.
Let me go 10 shades above my pay grade.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be actually going to be a lot of work and a lot of underappreciated work is the menus and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. How things are displayed, how things look. That's the kind of stuff that takes a ridiculous amount of time and is never appreciated in the end anyway. So,
right.
Yeah, it started work on. Obviously, I spent like 4 minutes on this, but I was trying to get all of these little elements right, and that's the other thing I was looking for is like the font. I don't know if you're trying to find, so it's the same sort of because that was a really kind of a hard to read font at times, and and they had the black shadow behind every letter, things like that I've been paying attention to in the last couple of days, because like I've been really getting into it the last couple of days. But so those, I have a couple ideas on to do.
What about your initializing?
Oh yeah, I actually started. I was.
This should throw you back.
Let's see. Is this gonna have it? I have the
Oh,
PS2.
nice. Yeah. That's awesome.
So just things like that. I was thinking just from my own standpoint, that introduction with the two loading things that were different sizes, all those like little things, and the punk buster, and I mean, the yellow, getting all that right, I think would be more important to me.
I've personally watched Geo smash like no less than 4, probably no more than 6, but no less than 4 routers trying to get on this motherfucker.
Back in the day.
Linksys, the two with the 2 antennas, just smash them, be like, motherfucker, and then return them to Best Buy and be like, this thing was messing up.
I had like a 10-meter long cable, Ethernet cable, running through my whole house just to get on, and it sat there for about 3 years. People constantly tripping over it, and like it was all frayed and stuff.
Yeah, we got real good at shoving them up through air duct vents. From the basement and shoving them up through the central air, whatever, HVAC.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending where the hell the party was that weekend.
I think it's going to have to start very basic, and it's just going to be one of those things that we constantly work on. I mean, if I'm honest, I didn't think, and if it wasn't for yous being on board with this, we wouldn't have got any of this stuff done for probably a very long time, because, like I said, we just don't have the experience at the minute.
Well, right on. I'm happy to help. Like I said, I don't mind working on this. I know how to do, I think, everything, at least basically know how to do everything that gameplay wise, and I know how to set it all up. So I'm probably just gonna head down, focus on that, and just that way everyone can keep modeling the thing. And like I can model stuff at work too, because I install Blender at work. So like on lunch break, that's like I made the sniper rifle today,
right,
just at lunch. So I can do some basic modeling as well. And but it's that maybe you get on the Trello and say who's doing what, just so I'm not stepping on anyone's toes.
Yeah. What would it suit better if we just sent you our models, and then that way you can kind of build them into your engine? Yeah,
I mean, we could do that. Maybe we could set up like a Google Drive or something. I don't know what's the best.
Okay, that's a good idea. We have to remember that once we actually get this thing made, we have to get people that'll play it, and
right.
I mean, we're gonna have to get at least 30 odd people interested who are regularly going to come on and play. It's no good having it working and everything, and just like me and you playing it, sort of thing.
Right.
So that's still be fun.
1v1s every day.
It was a hell of a good KD ratio.
Yeah.
But so, and I know a little bit of that stuff too. I mean, I don't want to say because that's going to be one of the other aspects is accounts.
Right. Yeah.
I can do so like my plan is, just because I'm kind of just going off what I know, I can do we're going to need a login. I think I might be able to do it off of like Steam.
Right.
But if that falls through, because I can do it off Steam, but it's a little weird. I'll probably have like a login to my SQL server or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but like a lot of that stuff for the initial stuff, I'll just run it off my computer. You know what I mean? Or whoever's computer, just download this thing and plug it in.
There's a bit of an elephant in the room that's what happens whenever EA finds out about this and tries to shut us down. I mean, that's another risk or a worry that sort of hangs over my head. I mean, I'm not too worried, but it's not like it keeps me up at night or anything, but it's something we have to consider.
So I've been thinking about that too, and I guess my fallback on that would be, just because if we do put in a bunch of work, let's say this goes on for a year, however long. If we put in a bunch of work, what I'd like to do is let's say best and worst case scenario would be they come out, they go, okay, stop doing that. We're gonna make our own, or we're gonna re-release it with online servers, right? That's sort of the best and worst case scenario, because you get what you kind of want in the end, which is the game, but you also lose, quote unquote, you lose sort of all that work. So what I was thinking of, the fallback would be, we would still have all these assets and 3D models and all this other stuff that's ours. We could just basically whoever still wants to stay on the team, or if we still want to go forward or whatever, because obviously I love doing this, would just be like, okay, we keep this, we make it a little different, but the buildings and the guns and all that stuff are that's not really EA related.
You change the map.
It would basically, I think you just have to make new maps.
They don't own first-person shooter with two teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we kind of already have hit on that too. I think actually we're now to the point where regardless of what happens, whether this is a success, whether it falls flat, I think we'll just make a spiritual successor, we'll call it, to Battlefield 2 Modern Combat.
Yeah.
So either way, and that's why I know you were asking, like, should we make a game and then like add a bunch of new stuff and stuff like that? Maybe we just do that for the next, like, the second game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. So we go forward on this completely, and then if and that's a big if, anything happens, then we fall back on it's a different game and we make new maps or whatever.
And depending what happens with Brexit, international copyright laws, who the fuck knows at that point?
Right? Yeah, we'll just say it. We'll say it's all yours, or whoever we need to pawn this off on.
Let's get a Russian involved.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, technically this is going to be free to play, non-profit. No one's going to make any money on this thing, so I mean, do they actually have grounds to, unless you're selling it? Because I mean, I know EA got involved in, like, was it Battlefield Heroes or something? But I think what was happening there was people on their website had like a version of the game you could download, like the actual game.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it might be tricky for them actually to sue us, because we're not selling their game, we're not making money off them. This is an educational tool. If you know what I mean, this is like
right. I think the only thing is that I don't know that I think it's more of just if you don't protect your IP, you lose it. So that would be the only reason that they would go. It's not necessarily because anyone's doing anything horrendous. It's just if they don't protect
they have to be seen to be doing it, or else
exactly
it'll get out of hand, then someone will copy it and make money off it.
Exactly. I think that's what the fear is. But
yeah, as you say, they don't have copyright on the engine that you build, because that engine that you build is not the Frostbite engine or whatever engine that DICE used, so yeah, all you have to do is just load up a new map, and then what you have is a game that plays like Battlefield, but it's not like it enough that it can, it can be sued.
Exactly.
I mean, you're exactly, we're falling on the same things. We're all kind of, these are exactly the conversations we had a month ago whenever we set the Discord group up. All you have to do is scroll up far enough, you'll probably find what we just discussed there now.
Right. Yeah, because I was scrolling up a little bit, but yeah,
oh yes, there's a lot in there.
So at least it sounds like we all are on the same page.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll move forward. I'm cool with I'll focus on the gameplay stuff, but I'm definitely cool with focusing on Bridge Too Far, just because I think that's in everybody's interest right now to get one thing fully functional.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, okay, it could be a little ways down the road, but I don't think it's terribly far.
In that case, I should probably send you like what we have so far for Bridge Too Far. Like I'll just try and get everything together in one file and just a few files and send it through. I do have like a general outline of the map, a bit like what you have at the minute.
Right. Yeah.
But I've got like very high res, or as high res as I could possibly get, scans of the map, and then I've drawn it up in like CAD basically, like line drawn of the thing, and then I could just bring that into a modeling program just to give me like an idea of scale and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll send you everything I've got basically, and then like we have a few of the buildings modeled, and then Xer, who's like probably one of our main modelers and has the most experience in modeling, he is in the process of getting the actual bridge itself modeled.
Yeah,
and I think
I saw that looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty well on with that. He's actually got the barriers and everything in. We have one of the big tall the burning building, as I call it. It's kind of modeled. One of the bases is modeled, and I plan on modeling the second base. So like we've got most of the stuff done.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's
probably want to just be fine tuning it and adding more stuff in as we get it, sort of thing.
Cool. That's
and
good.
Refining it.
Yeah, so then definitely I'm the more we talk, the more I want to just get to work on getting this thing up and running, because like I said, I don't think it's too far to get an initial release.
It'll essentially be when if you dropped a car off with square wheels, you'd start driving it and be like, God damn it, this is bumpy, we need round wheels. So I think we just all need to get to driving, get to work and say, this is what needs to happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm going to make this fucker work all night. But what's cool about BF2 is, at least what I've seen, nothing is all that complicated.
Yeah.
Like you got corrugated containers, you got, essentially what you build in this Middle East Sims for the fucking, the actual buildings.
Well, the thing about it is
you got the guns and the vehicles,
and those corrugated buildings and even the corrugated shipping containers, that's the texture. It's not actually, you're not going to model that.
Right. So you just make the shape and it's essentially there. That's why,
yeah.
Even in the mock-up map of the nest we had, Geo took about, 40 seconds to boom, bang, extrude, and all of a sudden it was flag 4,
And some of the models are actually repeat. Like some of the buildings actually are just repeated or mirrored and stuff like that. So I think once Xer finishes the actual bridge, that's like one of the main parts of the level.
Yeah.
I've done some of the surrounding site, and then obviously once you do a shipping container, you just copy that like 100 or 50 times.
Yeah.
One of the bases is already modeled, and a few of the build. There's very little else to do, as you say. Like there's not a lot there. It's after that, it's mainly texturing.
Yeah. Yeah. We could still even like. Whatever you send, tonight, tomorrow, whenever you get around to send that, I'll start building the Bridge Too Far, map or whatever, and just put those things in, and then when you send new ones, boom, it'll just update, and so we'll be able to play it. I hope we'll be able to play it with, okay, this stuff isn't textured, but we can still work. Everyone's still working together, and it's all still, we're not like waiting for you to do something or waiting for so and so to do anything. We can just be like bringing stuff in and updating it and going.
But yeah, no, it's been interesting talking to you guys. I should actually probably head off because it's getting
probably
late
understand.
For me. But I'm surprised. I didn't realize you'd be as far on as you were.
We're just
it's
maybe
a passion.
I was gonna say we might not be as passionate as you. I think in other ways we probably are, but outside of making a YouTube video, we're probably as passionate as you are. So we really, really want to do this. So I'm all full steam ahead.
You probably have more time in your hands than I do. That's one thing that you'll have an advantage. I work really long hours and I have a young family, so like I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to this, unfortunately.
Like first,
but and that's why I'm saying this. To me, this project is going to take a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Because if I had like a solid 3 months to just work on this, then it could probably be done in 3 months. But I'm not going to have that time. But many hands that make light work, and everyone pulling together is going to make it run so much quicker. If it was me doing this on my own, it would take me like 10 years because I don't have any experience with Unreal at all.
Yeah, you'll be an expert. You'll know every courtesy.
Yeah, by the time I was finished with the game itself would be nostalgic because it was
they'll
so
be
old.
remaking your remake by that time.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, our hobbies are time management. So we both have full-time jobs, girlfriends, families, etc. And then we remodel houses. And this is Gio's main thing is video games. So that's his shit. So hopefully we can kind of take some slack off your hands if it's possible. Just immediately whenever you get if you get a thought, go, hey, fuckers, let us know,
Yeah, sure.
So.
And I'll pull all that stuff together tomorrow and just like
Yeah.
send.
All right, yeah, and no
through.
rush. Don't. Yeah, if it's tomorrow, if it's next week, whatever. We're still gonna move along and all the other stuff. So, no worries.
All right. Well, look, nice to meet you. And we'll definitely be in touch, and I'll send over some files in the next day or so. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that gave you a little bit of an insight into what we're doing with the project and just our thoughts behind it in general. I know this looks very early stages, but Epix and Bradley have only just started working on this, so I'm actually quite impressed and with what progress they've made so far, and I think it looks like they're going to work pretty hard, and I'm interested to see what comes up in the next couple of weeks and months. I know I mentioned at the start of this video that I meant to make another video about modeling, and I don't want to not show that stuff, obviously, because it's good to see what has been modeled so far and show off what some of the 3D artists have been working on. Some of it's not been textured and anything like that, but I think I'll do a separate video maybe in a couple of weeks actually, once some of the bigger parts are modeled, and I'll just do a separate remake update just purely on the model. So hopefully that'll be up in a few weeks. And if you guys want to get in touch about helping with the project, or you even want to just get in touch about playing the project just whenever we get it finished or anything like that, then please remember to check out the Discord page. There's a link in the description. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and please check out some of my other Battlefield videos, and like I said, please join the Discord group.